I'm here with Julie Stamm, a multiple sclerosis advocate, author, and a mom. And her latest book deals with parenting and having a chronic illness. And you know we're gonna chop it up about that right now. Well, I had a little throat click. Okay, so wait, so you have multiple sclerosis, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
When did you get diagnosed?
In 2007, but it started in 2001. It took a really long time to get
One of
diagnosed.
those like,
Yeah.
oh, I have all these weird health symptoms, and
Yeah.
eventually I get to a diagnosis 6 years later.
I know. I mean, I am a woman, so we don't really know our bodies. I'm kidding. No.
Oh, right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. I mean,
But
God forbid I understood how I felt.
so you figured out that you have multiple sclerosis, and you were living that whole life, and then along comes the kid. What's the kid's name?
Jack.
Jack. And so along came Jack, and you were like,
Mhm.
you know what? I would love to write a book from your perspective, Jack, about how to deal with chronic illness. Like, I don't think that something like that
That
happened. So,
that's not
how did this
not
happen?
exactly how it happened, but close. I mean, similar. There was a lot of wine involved. No, no.
So, how did this idea of talking about a chronic illness from a child's perspective come about?
So I was really lucky because I had MS before he was born, so I knew how I wanted to tell him about it. Knew I wanted to be transparent from the beginning. I never wanted to wait until he's old enough to understand it or anything like that. And so I started reaching out to the societies to find out what materials they had and the libraries and on Amazon and everywhere. And none of them I wanted. And I was like, this isn't for me. So then I write him notes, just of things I want to remember, like his first word or whatever. And so I would ask him about my worst days, and he would see them completely different. So I might cry myself to sleep nights were his great adventure days. And I was like, oh, wait. I am apologetic for way too much of this, and I'm going to turn it around. And so I made it a fun material, not making light of MS, but I'm turning it into a positive approach, and not some children can understand a lot more than we give them credit for. And I think we need to embrace them and comfort them instead of giving them words like demyelination at 4 years old. They don't need to I mean, I'm 41 and it took me a while to learn that one. I don't think he really has to know that.
The idea that children are more resilient than us adults give them credit for, one, is paramount in this whole
Yeah.
sort of a thing. But two, the idea that your worst days, so to speak, were days of adventure for the kid.
Yeah.
So as we're just really trying to do our best, um, the kid has a different experience. And because
Completely.
our experience is different, we got to honor both of those, and
Yeah.
cut us way more slack,
Way
and
more slack.
begin to open up the adventure of it all, through our kids, with our kids, and really have them understand kind of what's actually going on inside of us. But
Yeah.
sure, we're on a spaghetti leg adventure, kid.
Yeah, like it's fine. Yeah, it's gonna change. I mean, we didn't expect coronavirus, but we all adapt. Like this is what it is. We don't know what's around the corner. So what we have to do is just focus on now and like enjoy it. Listen to our children and don't sit there. The nights that those letters, I was weeping while I wrote them to him. I was like, oh my gosh, mom's legs didn't work after the Halloween party that I worked my butt off putting together for you. Like all these things. And then I talked to him and he was like, you mean the train day? And I'm like, what the, like you see this difference
Wow.
in me. And so that really sparked it. It was like, okay, I'm going to not be so hard on myself. And I think that really was a huge weight lifted, um,
Mm.
which I think we all need. All parents, I mean, all people need it, but I think parents are so hard on themselves.
It's all sorts of wonderful and special, that you are putting this idea and sentiment out in the world, because the kids need to have a story. Kids always here kid, read something, here kid, be on this tablet, here kid, do something. Children need something
Yeah.
to do. But adults, the things that they give to their children appeal to them. And
Yeah.
so just the idea of here we are, 40 some odd years into the game and having all of the things that make us who we are, in addition to needing to care for someone else and cultivate their life. This is 40 some odd years of this
Yeah.
coming up. The kid is 3.
4. You just
Well, the kid is
I know.
4.
Yeah. Yeah.
So as much as we need to honor your experience, and your experience is you, that's not necessarily something to be given to the child or something that the child is experiencing. And if you have ways to, be engaging and stepping outside of yourself in that way and hold space with the kid and for the kid, something else magical happens, and something that you did not know was there is sort of revealed to you. And it's kind of a thing that happens in parenthood, right? Things are
Yeah.
revealed to you along the way.
A lot. Yeah, a lot is revealed, and it's good. I mean, and I think a lot of people with MS, I wasn't planning to have children. He was not a planned pregnancy. I was married for a very long time, and one reason why we ended that was because I wanted him to go and have a family, and I didn't think that I could have children. And, here we are, 8 years later with his dad and 4 years later with him. And it was a blessing. And it changed my whole perception of the world, every part of it, every part of parenthood. But I do think having a parent with MS, the children are a little bit different. And I mean that in the best way. I know that my son will look at the table to make sure everyone's got a plate of food before he digs in. I know that he is aware of his surroundings. He is aware of other people's needs before his own. And I think that comes from having a parent with MS. I don't think other children don't do that, but I do think because his mom, he does it, and it breaks my heart, but I love that he does it. On hot days, he goes, let's go on air conditioner missions. Let's just hang out. Like, he's cool. Like, he gets it. He knows that day is going to kill me, and he's aware of it. And I think, having a parent with a chronic illness makes them more empathetic.
I'm just sort of, every time you say something, I'm like, I get the feels. I'm like, oh man, an air conditioning mission. Oh yeah, go ahead with your sweet self, little boy. We are going to spend the day on the air conditioning mission. Let's go.
That's it. We're going to hop in CVS, and we're going to go in Dwayne Reed, and we're going to get cool.
Yeah. No, there's something about sort of our experience as adults with chronic illness being so drastically different from the kid's experience. And because the kid is our family, we want to give it its best tools to manage the world around them, and to not only be like the best adult, the most functioning adult, but that's the compassion comes in. This your son is going to have a different level of compassion because he's come up around mom who has MS, and mom who has MS who has taken the time to explain certain things in certain ways to help me understand them more, because he's getting the knowledge at 4 instead of 23,
right?
And 23 and having to grow on it. But if you're getting this knowledge at 4 and having to grow on it, you're going to have a different person that's able to navigate these sorts of tough things. So is it so is the book newly released? Like what's going on? How can people find this? Let's go. We're here on the internet right now. Let's go.
Well, it was launched in February, and we were super excited about it. We are available everywhere, Barnes & Noble, everywhere, Amazon. But in sad news, but also the most exciting news possible, we were picked up by a large publisher. So we are going to have to pull it from the market December 31st, and then it will be relaunched again next fall. But they're doing that. Yeah, so it's huge. It's a really big deal, and
awesome.
We are so excited. They're going to have it in multiple languages, which will be a resource available that I couldn't do on my own. So having a large publisher, is a really big deal for me. And then they picked up book 2, which is great, that I already written. So yeah.
What is the second? What is book 2?
I can't tell you yet, but
yeah, that's even better. Listen, there's some exclusive content here. No Stress MS viewers. Here's author Julie Stamm talking about a book that she can't even talk to you about, son.
I know.
Know about that.
Sorry about
Because
that.
we is out here. But
You will be getting a
fantastic.
copy once it out. You'll get a copy of both once they are out. I promise.
But that's fantastic that this is
Yeah.
continuing to be space that you are holding for folk out in the world. Because again, there's so much literal adult appropriate feelings. I don't want to say baggage, but I'm going to
Yeah.
baggage that comes along with illness, that comes along with adult, that comes along with being raised by your mom, like
Yeah,
all of that stuff.
for sure.
But you're making it all palatable and just accessible for the kid to do its own thing with, to make its own connections and things. Like
Yeah.
it's incredible.
Thank
Which is why I'm like, no, you got to come on the show and talk to us. I'm like,
I'm so
talk to me.
excited about
Yeah, you talk to
it.
all of us. So what else is going on? You talked about where to find the book or how the book is coming.
Yeah, it's really
And
this. Yeah, sorry.
oh,
No.
go ahead.
No, this version is great. We love it and we're so proud of it. And the reason why we got picked up by a publisher is because there is a need for it. And they don't normally approach a self-published author. So the fact that they came to me means that it is filling a void. So
that
yeah.
means that the hustle is real. Also, that means that the
I know.
hustle is strong, son. Word
I'm
up.
from
The brand is
Brooklyn, so
strong.
yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm
That's it.
saying. Don't talk about it, be about it. No chumps on the corner, son. Wow. So this is kind of a ball that's just been rolling, making these sort of tough conversations more accessible for younger people, and more you're creating your own space of vulnerability to maybe even heal some of your things as you see your experience through the younger person's eyes.
For sure. Absolutely. And that's the best
That
way
was
to put
really,
it.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, I just needed to sum that up in that way.
The good thing is that we are now in the New York library system, so people can get a copy for free. Mm-hmm. Very
Oh shoot! You out there with the lion? The lion is like,
I
I
know.
have Julie Stamm's book.
I'm like, wait, my son loves Ghostbusters and it was filmed in New York. I'm getting in this library.
Yeah, wow. So that's an extra round of applause for you, extra accomplishment person.
Thank you.
We're just racking off accolades over here.
No, but I'm excited that if people can't afford the book, it is available for free. And also on our website, if they want, there's a live reading that people can just listen to it. I wish I could afford to give everyone free copies, but I can't.
That's not the world that we live in, Julie Stamms. Oh, we good. No. Yeah, the heart is in the right place to not only have conceived of the idea, the follow through that's necessary to make it happen, no matter what, is something of that is not is that it's unparalleled. It's that it's respect from someone who runs a channel and is like, oh, who's being an author? Ooh, child, I couldn't sit here and write that book. Oh, you got to write them pages, girl. So I know the discipline it takes to, keep my channel together, and the discipline it must take to be an author that's going through rounds of publishing and almost in the library. Okay,
I know.
That's library without an R. I very purposefully said library. To be somebody who is capable of following through on all of those things, plus be mom, plus have chronic condition, like respect and salute, Captain. And thank you for continuing to follow through to make this happen,
Right back at you, man. I see all of your work. I'm scrolling. I'm like, wait a minute. I know that smile.
Yeah, because we out here, Jay Stan. We out here.
I know. We are hustling. I'm telling you.
Thank you. Look, where can people find you on the interwebs if they want to find you?
Yeah, so our website is somedayswe.com, and I'm on Instagram at IamStamm, STAMM. And then,
cool. No, I've said it like 4 times before, but the adult experience of chronic disease is vastly different from the child's experience of chronic disease.
100%.
Books like yours bridge that gap and bridge it beautifully and with illustrations and is short and simple enough and palatable enough to do it again and do it again. And the arc of the story that is really internal, but you've made it external. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you.
you. Thank you.
Yeah. So, and then look, man, you know, I done switched up the view, everybody, okay? Because we're going into holiday times. It's more of a casual time right now. So I'm gonna keep making videos and all that stuff, but we're doing it a little bit more casually right now. And so that means until I don't know, next week or two, man, give me 14 days. I'll see you in another 14 days. Okay, bye.